Welcome to Geek Zone Wrestling, a podcast by wrestling fans who just want to talk wrestling.
Somebody needs to call Paul Levesque on this one because recently he's been talking about moving WrestleMania as far as, moving it further into warm weather so that, the issue of what happened with Mania this year doesn't ever happen again.
Like 40-degree weather in an open stadium.
So we have taken it upon ourselves to, let's say, redistribute the pay-per-views in a completely different manner, and we're going to tell you exactly why this works.
Or why we think it would work.
Yeah, why we think they should go with this order.
And we each wrote one paper or one PLE per month, and this is just for main roster, not for NXT. And we each picked a pay-per-view that we think they should keep or bring back in a couple cases. He did his own, I did my own. Some of them overlap, we made the same choice.
Some of them don't.
Yeah.
So for January, I chose Royal Rumble because it has been, and because I think it's a great
It's not stopping them with Mania.
It's a great start to the year. That's an exciting pay-per-view to start things off at the beginning of the year. I just feel like the Rumble is synonymous with January anymore. It has to be there.
All right, well, I picked Backlash.
Okay.
Because for one, I hate that they changed the name from Backlash to WrestleMania Backlash. Or at least, that's how they refer to it as, whether or not the official name's been changed. And I feel like, you come into January and you got the backlash from the end of the year.
I like that.
Like the pay-per-view from December, which, eventually we'll get to.
We'll get into.
You go into the new year and you've got the backlash from how that year ended. You have people who, like if it happened this year, they would be like, all right, well, 2023 wasn't my year. This is the year where I can turn it around. And then you have people who are like, oh man, this year was great. And then they suffer consequences because they had a great year.
Yeah, I like that. I actually do like that. But I just can't see January without a Rumble. I just can't. Like, every January...
Okay, and you can't see John Cena, but it doesn't stop you.
Damn, that was good. I don't know. I just every January I look forward to the Rumble, and
dude, screw that. I look forward to the Rumble as soon as the Rumble ends.
Yeah, me too. And
well, I mean, okay. First, I look forward to WrestleMania, but as soon as WrestleMania is over, I'm ready for the next Rumble, so I could look forward to the next Mania.
Agreed. So let's go ahead and move on to February.
All right.
So for February, I chose Elimination Chamber. And I chose Elimination Chamber because, coming off the Rumble, they get the title shot at Mania. So instead of having, Rumble straight to Mania, you put the Chamber in there, give somebody else an opportunity at the title while you got this longer road. You can tell a longer story on the way to WrestleMania.
But they already have the Chamber between the Rumble and Mania.
What I'm saying is we put it right up front after the Rumble. Then that can change the face of the entire ecosystem.
So basically, just as of February, you have both challengers for the two main titles at Mania squared out, and the rivalries between the challengers and champions can start and build up for a whole, month and a half or so? Is that what you're... Well, I'm just trying to understand, what you were saying about, start the rivalry, build up the story. That's what I thought you meant, so I was just trying to clarify.
Well, I mean, what they do with most of their storylines, and they have all these pay-per-views in between where the dude isn't fighting the main baddie or the main person in their storyline. They're just in a match, and then you can start building that whole story around whomever it is that you're going to have them face at Mania.
That works. My February pay-per-view is Battleground.
Battleground.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you're you're more or less, I don't want to say you're still, starting the year, but I feel like that would be a good replacement for Crown Jewel. I mean, Crown Jewel is cool and all, but it's just, I don't know.
The only thing I don't like about
I don't like the logo.
I don't like the logo, and I don't particularly like that it happens at like noon.
Well, I mean that's because it's in Saudi, but
I know.
Battleground would be Saudi. But I feel like it makes it, I don't know. Crown Jewel just doesn't sound to me very like
And
like get up and go. It's just like, oh, it's the Crown Jewel. Oh, it's so great.
but I see what they're getting at, because they do have a monarchy. They do have a king in Saudi Arabia.
Well, I mean, I know that, but I'm just,
yeah, I agree. It doesn't have a battle type of feel to it.
And I feel like if you have it be battlegrounds, like you're going to a foreign country and you are putting it all on the line.
The Middle East, no less.
Yeah. But you're putting it all on the line, and it just, I feel that Battleground is a more epic, not epic sounding, epic, everything. So like you're going to go to Saudi, and it sounds like it's going to be far more. I keep using the word epic, but
it sounds more intense.
Yes. So I feel like that should be the Saudi show instead of Crown Jewel. And I figure with February, why have it here if you can go to the Middle East? Theoretically, it's warmer there.
Oh, it's definitely warmer there.
So that's why I picked February for the Saudi show. Now, I mean, for all I know, Saudi needs it like certain times due to the contractual obligations. I don't know how that.
I don't know either. Though I have heard rumors that Saudi is trying to lobby to get a Mania.
No.
Or a SummerSlam.
Okay, SummerSlam, I would accept, but I'm not like. My Mania needs to be like a 2-night weekend event, and it needs to be in the United States so that I don't have to worry about missing it from like oversleeping or something. They can have any pay-per-view except for the Rumble and Mania. Those two I need consistent.
I also don't want to give them Survivor Series, I'll be honest.
I'm solid on my 2.
So moving on, March, I have Clash at the Castle. And I kind of feel like that is the reason I chose Clash at the Castle is because we just got out of the chamber, and Elimination Chamber, go to the castle. It's kind of a natural progression type of thing. And they can still do that one in the UK or whatever, wherever they decide to have that. But
I mean, if you're going to do Clash at the Castle, I feel like it needs to be in the UK.
Yeah, or
How many castles do you know of in the US?
I know there's one within 10 miles of our house in Loveland.
Please tell me you're not talking about Castle Skateland.
No, there's
okay.
An actual castle.
But okay.
I digress on that.
You know my point, though. Castles are like far more common there. Yes. It makes more sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I felt like, after the Elimination Chamber, you're kind of going from the chamber room to the entire castle. And it seemed like a really good fit for March, because March is St. Patrick's Day.
Which see, that's why I figured you put it there.
No,
you're like, oh hey, St. Patrick's Day. They're really close to Ireland.
Well, and that's part of the UK. Ireland is part of UK.
Yeah, I know. Ireland's kind of ucky.
But
get it?
It just
UK uck.
That wasn't the.
Oh, screw you. That was funny.
That wasn't the major reason I put it there, but it made sense to me. It was one of those icing on the top type of things.
I picked the Rumble because it, like, in my scenario, like, I base this around if they moved the Mania to May.
Okay.
So in my book, like, say if they moved Mania to like a warmer month, I would want to start the Royal Rumble. I would want to do the Rumble later. So I had it in March. So come March, you start the road to WrestleMania, like springtime. That way, come like summertime, you've got the road to WrestleMania all worked out and go straight into the summer pay per views. And that was the whole reason. So, yay, you go.
So I'm gonna. I can't agree with you. I cannot. I want the Rumble in January. I want it there from now until eternity. For me,
And
it's
I want you to keep your opinion to yourself.
hey,
Neither one of us get what we want.
when I want your opinion, I'll give it to you.
What?
So moving on. After March, in April,
Yes, April is after March.
I have the Night of Champions, which originated in WCW, but I felt like this is a great opportunity to have every title on the line.
You know, WWE has done that.
I know they have, but it originated with WCW. Night of Champions was originally theirs.
You know what else originated with WCW?
I do, and we'll talk about
getting
later.
bought out by WWE.
I know, but I chose Night of Champions because I thought it'd be a great opportunity early in the year to get every title on the line at a pay-per-view. You know, boost interest, give it a little relevance, and every one of these has the opportunity to shake things up for the storylines.
Oh, was that it?
That was kind of my basis for it. Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, waiting for you to continue talking, and you just stopped. I was like, oh crap, I think you finished.
Yeah, that was my premise for it. Is early spring, breeding new life into the world could breed new life into your storyline, and having every title on the line gives you the opportunity to do that with any one of those storylines that's going on that you feel like, hey, maybe this one isn't going to work. Let's switch it up. Throw someone else the title and see what happens there.
I picked Roadblock because for me, I think it would be amusing. It's like you have the Royal Rumble in March, you start the road to WrestleMania, and then in April, you hit a roadblock.
Ooh. I like to play on words.
Thank you. And then, like, you go through the roadblock, and then, like, oh, hey, we're back on the road to WrestleMania. We just had to take a little detour.
Is that what you're going to call the next one? Detour?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to check.
No, but now that I'm thinking about it, I should probably call it Back on Track.
Back on track.
WWE Back on Track. No, that doesn't sound good at all.
No, not really. That's almost as bad as In Your House.
WWE Refuel.
WWE gas station. Rest stop.
WWE Breakdown. None of those are mine.
WWE Call the Mechanic.
WWE Off Road. That would be perfect for Stone Cold to come back because he always came in on an ATV.
Oh, I just thought of one that actually might work. WWE Demolition Derby.
Oh, damn.
I might have to No, I'm going to stick with what I got, but I'll circle back around to that. So,
May?
In May, I have Backlash. Backlash from the Night of Champions, not Backlash from WrestleMania.
All right, so sort of like me, you moved Backlash from Mania to something that you thought, well,
Yeah, because now you have whatever happened at Night of Champions, you have the revenge.
either that or if you did uh change a storyline mid-story, then this Backlash can start the new rivalry between, the new champion and the challenger, or in the case of, like, say the Intercontinental United States tag team, whatever, that you didn't already have a guaranteed challenger at Mania, then it could be like, well, hey, I want payback.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
shit. That's another good pay-per-view, and I didn't put it on my list.
I didn't either. I'll be honest. I did not put Payback because I already had Backlash.
Damn it. Why couldn't I have been Jericho? It should have made the list.
Should have made the list.
See, for me, in May, I put the Elimination Chamber.
Okay.
Because, and we'll get to this in a minute, I bumped Mania to June instead of May. Because I thought that it would, in May, you still have, like May showers. So if he's worried about, like, the whole open stadiums, rain.
Actually, it's April showers bring May flowers.
Well, whatever. Anyway, I moved it to June because I thought it was more consistently dry and not cold weather. So I thought the Elimination Chamber right before it sets up the non-Rumble winner, challenging for whatever title the Rumble winner isn't.
Okay. Yep, that works because just right out of the gate, I'm going to let you know I moved WrestleMania to June 2.
Wow, you even have the day?
Yeah, that's perfect. School's letting out. It's a great day.
Well, that's a pretty interesting coinky dinky.
No, I moved. I did move WrestleMania to June as well.
Well, like we said, some of them overlapped. Because, I mean, obviously we did compare our lists before this just to see
where we were off and
Yeah.
where we were dead on.
And seeing, what the other one was going to do.
And again, Mania, I think.
But we did not give each other, like, our reasonings as to why.
No, we didn't.
We just saw each other's lists.
But yeah, I think with Levesque wanting to move it to a warmer month, I'm all for that, especially considering they're getting out of indoor areas and they're going to the outdoor stadiums that are ginormous. So I'm fully on board with that. I don't see any problem with it. I will miss it earlier in the year, but at the same time, I think that would be a better timing for it.
Yeah. And there is a, like, secondary reason that's I'll explain at the end.
Yeah,
it's just a little bit of, I guess, OCD for me, but I'll have to explain it after we're done because
yeah, I think you and I see eye to eye on this.
Based off of I don't know, logistics doesn't seem like the best word, but your list and my list, the certain similarities make me think that you might be right.
Yeah. So moving to July, I chose Great American Bash for obvious reasons.
Me too.
Independence Day. It makes sense. I don't like.
It's all patriotic and stuff.
Exactly. I feel like that's what should be.
And who doesn't want a Great American Bash? Yeah. Well, except for non-Americans, because I mean, I'm sure they want a great bash of their own country.
Well, and Great American Bash was one of the A shows on WCW. It was one of their main pay-per-views. And
because I mean, obviously, I feel like no matter what country you're in, you're going to want your country to have something great, So like, we're in America, so obviously we want a Great American Bash.
Yeah.
Like, say you're in Brazil, you want a great Brazilian bash. I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory. I mean, maybe if you're in a place that you don't really want to be because, it's like you had to move there for work or something and you don't feel like it's your home. But I feel like everybody's going to want their home to have that special thing, you know?
Well, and it's just good PR for America. I feel like it's a great opportunity for them to show their, I hate to use this term because it's become so politicized, but their patriotism, their love for America.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously the people who aren't from here, like in Saudi Arabia, they're not going to feel patriotism towards America. They're going to feel patriotism to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Saudi America sounds weird.
And that's why I feel like that's why they named it Crown Jewel, because that's something that they relate to in Saudi.
I mean, that's fine. It's just, this is my personal opinion.
Yeah, and I'm in total agreement with you. I don't particularly care for the name
I
Crown
just,
Jewel, but
I don't want people to think that I want it to be, Great American Bash because, like, well, hey, we're American, so we deserve, our own show. Like, I feel that if there was a wrestling thing in the UK, like based out of the UK, the UK should be their bash, you know?
yeah.
I felt like saying, oh, well, I want the Great American Bash because, we're America. We deserve it.
Well,
It sounds so dickish to me.
well, I feel like it's America's Independence Day, July 4th, so it makes complete and total sense with everybody shooting off fireworks and everything for you know the American Independence Day, Great American Bash. Tell me how that doesn't make sense.
Well, I kind of already, my stuff's already out there. So we might as well move to August.
Okay.
Because literally we had the same reasons and I kind of just explained the one difference.
So August, I have SummerSlam, and I realize that it follows very closely to Mania, but so what? I get that they want to have those major shows in quarters so that they have one of the major shows. But why can't you do that anyways? Why can't you make any one of these shows shows, A+ shows?
Well, I mean,
SummerSlam.
sometimes, like, for example, Night of Champions could have a better card than SummerSlam. It wasn't necessarily planned that way. It's just
Turned
how it
out
worked
that way.
out.
Yeah,
Like, no offense to WWE, I thought WrestleMania 34 was garbage.
I thought night 1 of 40 was not great.
Eh, I mean, WrestleMania 34 just all around pretty much blew.
I'm not
It
disagreeing.
was not, WrestleMania 33 was insane. It just so much happened that night, and maybe if it didn't follow up such a great Mania, I wouldn't have been so disappointed in matches that kind of seemed like just any normal pay-per-view to me. And then 35, I was like, okay, we're back.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. 34 was not
But like,
great.
for example, WrestleMania 35, the show that, like I said, I felt like we were back on track with Mania. The match that really got me was Tony Nese versus Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, the very first match.
And it's just that match, I'm just like, oh, baby, we're back at Mania.
Yeah, that was a fantastic match. And who would have thought? Who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
Like,
And it was just
seriously.
for the Cruiserweight title. And it's just like, all right, cool, we'll get this out of the way. And then they're just putting on this hell of a show. And I'm just like, Oh, I don't want this to end.
Yeah, yeah, that was definitely a memorable Mania.
So, I mean, that there just proves one match can make the entire pay per view stand out to you. I mean, obviously, it was WrestleMania. There were,
There were tons of good
actually,
things.
I don't think that was necessarily the first match.
It was during the kickoff.
Okay, yeah, because that was when Rollins became the Beast Slayer.
Right.
Um, but
But yeah,
yeah,
that match
I
was
mean
during
that
the
like I
kickoff,
said,
and
that just proves
it
that
was fire.
even if it wasn't Mania, that match, whatever pay per view would have been on, would have been like, okay, that even makes this pay per view, well, PLE now,
Yeah, PLE.
that made it worth tuning in, and I will remember that match.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
It just happened to be a Mania.
Yeah, on the kickoff show, no
Yeah.
less. Which
So
is not a spot that I expect a great match. I
no,
expect that to be the jobbers going against each other.
like Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins ending Kurt Hawkins' major losing streak to win the Raw Tag Team titles.
But yeah,
Um,
I thought SummerSlam, in August, last blast of summer, you're going out on a strong note.
See, for my August, I had Clash at the Castle.
Really? Why?
Oh. I just, you have the Great American Bash, and then you go to the UK and have a pay per view. I thought it was kind of a neat little.
Yeah, a neat little segue to international
Yeah,
shows.
I didn't really have a. I really like the pay per view, and just the reason I picked that month is because you go from a really proud American one, and then you go celebrate in another country. I just thought that was kind of a neat little.
Hmm.
But that's literally the only reason that I was going to have it in here somewhere. But that's why I picked that month.
Interesting. Okay, I can see that. Like that actually does kind of make sense. I'm still going with SummerSlam, but
Yeah. Like I said, I just that's why I put it where it was. I was going to keep the pay per view no matter what. Just I don't know. I thought it sounded kind of world toury.
yeah, very much so. So moving on to September, I call War Games.
Ah, Survivor Series.
No.
Oh, so you have Survivor Series and War Games separate?
Yes,
Oh, yes, you do. It says so right there.
I do. I do. I don't want my War Games with my Survivor Series. I want them separate pay-per-views, and I think it maybe even do them in a similar manner and like totally revamp it to the way it used to be. And all matches are War Games matches. And I'm going to say the same thing about Survivor Series, so I'm just going to go ahead and
So
throw that
you're,
out.
with the whole thing with the gimmick matches, you want that to basically replace Hell in a Cell or
Yes,
TLC. Okay.
yes, I do, and it's because it is so much more. I don't want to say gimmicky. It's more. I think it can be done in a more meaningful way with War Games than it can with Hell in the Cell. Because with War Games, it's so different. There's two rings. You can fill those rings up with, these teams of guys, build up heat between groups, between factions or whatever, and then throw them into War Games. And it doesn't have to just be the one match at the end.
All right. Well, then, how would you do, say, an intercontinental title match?
I wouldn't.
So you're just like,
War Games. The champions will be in with whatever group they get, you know, they get into a storyline with.
You know how many people you would have to have in that pay-per-view? Like, just
Because WWE is so short-staffed.
it is.
It would give opportunity to people that aren't getting opportunities. It
All
would
right,
give
that's fair. Fair, I get it.
it would give options for mid-carders to actually maybe make the spotlight for once. New kids that are coming in, give them an opportunity to shine alongside some of the
All right,
fan favorites or most hated.
all right. I can see your logic. I, on the other hand, have just Survivor Series.
Why did you put Survivor Series in September? And again, I'm going to say no.
We'll get to that.
Well, oh, okay.
Like I said, a little bit of OCD.
Okay. Okay. I'll let you. I'll let you
But
slide on that
for
for a
me,
moment.
it's one of the big four. I had to have it in there. Just the reason it's in September, bit OCD.
Okay. Okay. We'll let you slide on that for a minute and move on to October. October, we agreed on this one. Halloween Havoc. Now, I want to hear your purposeful decision on this one first.
Halloween, October.
Okay, I'm in the same boat, but I
No,
don't
it's not a boat, but
I don't want the Halloween Havoc from WCW.
no. I want this to be like a whole new revamped Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, I don't
I don't want it to be
I don't
like
want it to
any
be
paper.
gimmicky and stupid.
No. I want this to be okay. I as for the gimmicky and stupid, I kind of was thinking something along the lines of going a bit above and beyond on the entrances, sort of like Mania,
Well, the
but
entrances is fine, but like
but making it more like, everyone comes in a Halloween costume esque kind of theme to their entrance, and then they put on a match. Like their in ring attire, it can be like, how sometimes they'll do ring attire and it'll reflect like, a superhero, or like, Liv
yeah,
Morgan has come out looking like, with Chucky colors or whatever, Freddy Krueger. Like that's kind of why I wanted to bring
Harley
Halloween.
Quinn.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to bring Halloween Havoc back. It was Alexa Bliss, not Liv Morgan. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Because I thought they could dress up, in their ring gear, but have their ring gear reflect, like their favorite monster, or slasher, or whatever. And I thought it's a way to be creative and have fun in addition to putting on a good show.
I'll agree with that. But what I was getting at is what I don't want to see is like Halloween pumpkin match where there's
Oh no, I
pumpkins
don't want
lined
that.
all around
I
the
don't want
table.
those stupid ass. Although not all, like if there was a casket match, like when Undertaker was still wrestling, I would have been for that.
Yeah, yeah. Casket match for Undertaker, fine. If he was still going, but stuff like the goofy, just ridiculous jack o' lantern match
No.
where you end up with 50 jack o' lanterns getting thrown into the ring and busted up over someone's head. That bothers me. I don't want to see it turn into that type of production. But I don't. I'm with you on the idea of maybe soup up the entrances a little bit. You know, they can come in a costume of some sort, and then the costume comes off and they fight.
Yeah, maybe not. I'm not talking like WrestleMania entrances. I'm talking strictly like just attire wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Mania they do they have dancers, or they come out in like a car. Like it's more than just what they're wearing.
Yeah, I can get on board with that, but just don't do the cartoony, stupidity gimmicks with it, please. Don't have a Dracula stand-up figure in every corner, or a Frankenstein or a werewolf. Don't be stupid about it. Make it something cool.
Wouldn't it be funny if Braun Breaker like dressed up as Frankenstein, and you had a literal Frankensteiner?
That would be humorous. So, November.
Yes.
Survivor Series.
Man, we already had that.
No,
yes.
We didn't.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
No, I vetoed that.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You can't.
I
no.
Can't. I can't.
No, you don't have that right.
Survivor Series
was in August. No, September.
Survivor Series started on Thanksgiving. It needs to stay there. The very first one was Thanksgiving. That's where Survivor Series needs to be.
All right, you're going for.
I'm going for tradition
and heritage.
Yes.
All right. I have Night of Champions because all of those champions have something to be grateful for. They have something to give thanks for. And all the challengers also have something to give thanks for. They have an opportunity at the title. Everybody has a reason to be thankful.
Okay. I can see the logic behind it. I still veto.
I veto your veto.
I'm vetoing your veto of my veto.
I'm vetoing your veto of my veto of your veto.
But also with Survivor Series, all the matches need to be Survivor Series matches. I don't want singles matches. I want all of them, and you can put up the ticker of, SmackDown versus Raw, who won what.
If you're going to do that, then I'm also going to make mine be a specific gimmicky kind of thing. And Night of Champions, all titles need to be defended.
Well, I already discussed that because Night of Champions actually happened already in April.
No, it didn't. I vetoed that.
No, I vetoed your veto.
I vetoed your veto of my veto. Veto's starting to sound like a really weird word.
I know. But yeah, Survivor Series needs to be Survivor Series matches, and it needs to be November. It needs to be when.
And they need to sing "Eye of the Tiger."
Huh?
Survivor?
Oh. I thought you were going for something else. Never mind. You can have that for your Night of Champions.
No, that's for my Survivor Series.
That happens in April.
No! At least we agree on December, too.
Yes, we do. We do. December. Starcade.
I bet we disagree on reasoning, though.
Probably. Go ahead.
But you're first.
Okay. So
Age before beauty.
The reason I put Starcade in December, I feel like the number one shows for when there was a WCW and WWF. The main one for WWF was WrestleMania. The main one for WCW was Starcade. That was, the granddaddy of them all, they called it. And I feel like those two should be the most prolific shows. And it puts it halfway between Mania. You get 6 months Mania, 6 months Starcade. It gives you two huge shows with huge opportunities to change the course of events for the next 6 months.
I agree with you that Starcade was a huge deal in WCW, and because of that, I really wish that they would bring it back, not just for an NXT show or whatever, but make it like in my thing. Mania went to June, so in my opinion, SummerSlam is no longer needed. So we needed a fourth big show. Starcade, in my opinion, has everything to fit that bill of one of the big four.
And it has the history of doing
It does. And the reason I put it in December is because Starcade, in my opinion, it kind of made me think of a beautiful starry night. And, because of the Starcade, I pictured a snow globe. So I pictured snowing, I pictured December. Like I said, I was pretty sure we had different reasonings. But also, that makes it so that the big four are 3 months apart. If you have a big four, 12 months, they have to be evenly distributed throughout the year, which is where my OCD comes in.
So, for mine, that would end up making it Clash of the Castle, then Mania, then War Games, then Starcade.
Okay. War Games, I can tolerate. Clash of the Castle, no. You need a Rumble in there.
Rumble's in January.
No. The Rumble is a big four, and you botched it. You screwed it up.
No, I started it off right.
No.
See, Starcade to me is, I look at it.
The big four need to be evenly distributed. Period.
I look at it this way. So, when you're in a performance, and this speaks from my experience in what I do, and from a performance aspect, period.
Okay, so what you do? You mean suck?
No, I win. At any rate, the whole thing I'm getting at is from a fan perspective, from a watching judge, so to speak, a critic. The main things that are lasting in your head are the very first thing you see and the very last thing you see. So the very first thing needs to be explosive. That's Rumble. The very last thing needs to be explosive. That's Starcade.
That's bullshit.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I judge competitions all the time.
If I may quote The Rock here, you are on crack.
Actually, I'm on a couch, but
he said that to Christian, by the way, in the ring on the highlight show. Whatever. I guess if it was Christian, it might have been the Peep Show. But Christian was Intercontinental Champion at the time.
But yeah, I judge competitions all the time, and when I'm watching a performer do their thing,
kinky.
The most important thing is the first thing they do and the last thing they do. All the stuff in between, great, but it's mostly filler. You want to start strong.
So what you're saying is WrestleMania is filler?
No, I'm not saying WrestleMania is filler, because in the standpoint of, a big four, as you want to call it, the Mania is right smack dab in the middle.
No, SmackDown is a different show.
Smack dab.
SmackDown? You just said SmackDown.
No, I said smack dab.
I don't hear a difference.
There's a B. And it not to say that WrestleMania is a B show, but Mania is right in the middle. Maybe instead of big four, there's big three: Rumble, Mania, Starcade. Then it's every 4 months.
Yeah, so your WrestleMania needs to be in May, and your Starcade needs to be in freaking November.
No.
No. September.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
If you're going to have it so that you have a big 3 in 12 months, it needs to be every 4 freaking months, meaning your Rumble is in January. Your WrestleMania and well, there goes Halloween Havoc because you got freaking Starcade in October.
No, I have Starcade in December.
No, it's September.
No, it's December.
Not if you have a big 3, then it has to be in September.
Well, I'm looking at this from a year standpoint.
I'm looking at this from you being stupid.
I'm looking at this as
What?
you being stupid.
Why when I said that did you go
I'm looking at this from a standpoint of you being stupid because you have moved Survivor Series from where it started.
I also moved the Royal Rumble.
I know, I was just getting to that. You moved the Rumble from January. You want us to wait longer.
No.
Yes?
No.
Yes?
No.
Yes?
No, because it, like, okay, we'll see.
You see what
the
happened?
Rumble will still be 1 year apart from the last Rumble, except for that one time.
Fine. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to have a Rumble in January. We're going to have a Rumble in March. We're going to have a Rumble in September.
That sounds amazing.
We're going to have a Rumble in December.
That sounds amazing.
No, it really doesn't. I stand by my choices. I really do. I feel strongly.
I stand by mine.
I feel very, very strongly that what I have put down there is a solid lineup.
Of crap.
No, that would be yours.
No. See, mine.
Aside from, Starcade, Havoc, Mania. Yeah, that's about it.
You don't want the Great American Bash in July?
Oh, and yeah, Great American Bash.
At least I tried to think things out logically. I tried to make it fit very well. And I'm not an idiot.
Wasn't it you who said something to the effect of, yeah, that's the only reason.
Yeah.
So I logically thought it out. You just threw it out there because you didn't have anything else to go with. So mine was based in logic. Yours was based in bullshit.
No. Mine was mostly based in logic. The only one that... I mean, for the most part, everything is based in logic. Except, technically the reason I picked Clash at the Castle for being right after the Great American Bash was just because I really liked the pay-per-view and I thought the whole USA to UK would be fun. Aside from that, which still had some logic to it, it was basically just that sounds like a fun idea. And sounding like a fun idea was logical. So therefore, shove it.
So we clearly are not going to come to a consensus on this because you are not willing to admit that I'm right.
Well, yeah. Like, do you want me to lie?
No, truthfully, I am clearly in the right here. What I want to know what the listeners think.
What, all 2 of them?
No, there's 3. But yeah, let us know what you think. Which lineup do you prefer, or do you have your own? We'd love to see. We'd love to hear and see some feedback.
And see, one thing, I did not include War Games because I kind of imagined that being NXT's Mania.
I don't want it as NXT though. I want it to be a main show.
The reason I did that was because of Dusty.
I get it, but that's why they took the Great American Bash.
But I want that on the main show.
I want War Games.
I don't want NXT to like not have any good shows.
I don't either, but I want them to make up their own.
They did. It's called Stand and Deliver.
Okay, then stick with that. And then, you know, instead of war games, they can have sit down and be lazy.
You can't have that. It'd just be an entire pay-per-view of like.
Okay, fine.
Oh my god! Like, do you really want all the writing staff to?
It'll be sit down and DiGiorno.
Shit, that was good.
I don't know. I don't want War Games or Great American Bash.
Okay,
NXT.
fine. NXT can have SummerSlam.
No, they can't.
Yeah, they can.
No, they can't.
Yeah, they can.
No, they can't.
Yeah, they can.
No, they can't.
Yeah, they
They
can.
can have Battleground.
No.
You already have a Backlash. You don't need a Battleground.
Well,
they can have Roadblock.
No, that needs to block the road from WrestleMania, so they go on a little detour and then they end up in an elimination chamber.
Fine, then they can have Construction Zone.
Actually, that sounds cool.
So there you have it. Construction Zone goes to NXT.
Fastlane, Bad Blood, Judgment Day, Unforgiven.
See, they can have all those.
Great Balls of Fire.
They can have In Your House.
One Night Stand.
Yeah.
And then, like, you can have, like, the next month, you can have, like, one of the females come out and say, like, you got me pregnant. You gonna help me take care of the baby? Nah, bitch, it was a one night stand.
Ooh. I just thought of something.
What?
In 2025, WWE is moving to Netflix, right?
Yeah.
One of their pay-per-views could be named Netflix and Chill.
I knew that was coming. Wait, is it all of WWE or just Raw?
Just Raw. I think SmackDown's staying on USA.
So, Netflix and Chill is going Raw?
Yes.
All right.
But yeah, that's the way I see it. The lineups that we picked. If you're gonna change WrestleMania anyways, why not shake up the entire list?
But you don't.
Pretty much did, except for Rumble and Summer or Survivor Series.
No, you pretty
much. Those are the only two I kept in place. Everything else is different.
Stupidly.
No, brilliantly.
Stupidly.
You gotta have some kind of tradition. Some type of...
Dude, this is your bad.
Oh. My bad.
Yeah, see, you admitted it.
No.
Yeah.
Don't. This is not my bad, this is my good.
You know what? You just made the list!
Actually, yeah, I did just make this list, and it's a great one.
I mean, it's one of those things where it really, like, obviously, if I was doing it, my OCD would, factor in. But if I was just watching them, probably wouldn't even realize that they weren't.
My OCD has to do with the tradition of it. Survivor Series has always been...
My OCD is the timing of it.
Yeah, mine is the tradition of it. I want to know that when we get to November, we have Survivor Series. I want to know that in January we got Rumble. And that to me is more important than the 3-month intervals.
Meh.
Meh?
Matters to me.
I know it does. just I can't see moving those two pay-per-views. I really can't.
Sure you can. It's right there on my list.
I know,
Right
but your
there,
list
and
is
then right
wrong.
there. You me too much.
So let us know what you guys think. We'd love to hear your input. If you are looking for
And
any of our
if you have any ideas on a cool pay per view like Construction Zone, which I'm actually like really into right now, I think Construction Zone would be a super cool pay per view. NXT can have that. NXT Construction Zone. It's like their version of Extreme Rules.
And to pay homage to NWA WCW, they could subtitle it "Night of the Skywalkers" and have the what the heck was that thing? The
Scaffolding?
scaffold match.
You know what else they could do to like with, for example, WCW? Have a pay per view called Mayhem. Which I mean, I know Mayhem was not, a pay per view, but I mean, it still
They could take the namesake.
sounds freaking cool to me. Or Nitro.
And they do it in May.
Yeah.
Mayhem.
Yes. Wait, so it's an all guy pay per view?
No. It's all Helmsleys.
Oh. So no one.
But if you're looking for any of our other platforms, we're on YouTube. We
are not on
channels.
scaffolding.
Yeah, we're not on scaffolding. We're not that coordinated. But you can find all of our channels there. We do all kinds of different style
Not AJ.
podcasts, videos, you name it, we got it. We got Geekosity Podcast. We got Sarcasm Network. I do martial arts weapon stuff. We do gaming stuff, Super Shea tutorials and Super Shea gaming. We got all kinds of platforms out there. Feel free to check those out. They're all on, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and all of the podcasting platforms. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you that listen. We'd love to know what you think of this podcast and of this topic.
And, like we've said before, we would very much like your opinion. If you think that, one of us has a pay per view in a good spot, let us know. If you think that one of us has a pay per view in a wrong spot, like him, let us know, or just give us an entire list that you think fits. Be like, hey, I think both y'all are stupid. I think it should be this.
Yeah.
And we'll be happy to comment and tell you you're wrong. Actually, he will. Because he's the dick who thinks he's right.
And he's the dick that thinks he's right.
No, I don't think I'm right. I just think that it works for me. Hope everyone has a wonderful night. And if you listened all the way through, how'd you do that?